You are now listening to Smoke After Dark.
Welcome to the second season of Smoke After Dark. I have 9 amazing episodes for you, all jam-packed with different types of crazy stories. Today, we focus on Blackbeard's gold stash. Edward Blackbeard Teach is one of the most feared and notorious pirates in history. His adult life consisted of plunder and deceit. Around the Caribbean and along the coast of the eastern United States of America, Blackbeard was the most feared man in the 18th century. Leading by fear kept Blackbeard's enemies humble and his crew honest as pirates can be. By the age of 21, Blackbeard had built a reputation for ruthless aggression, possibly active as a privateer for the British during the War of the Spanish Succession, from the years 1701 to 1713, converting into a pirate around 1716, when he would make his big splash by taking over the slave ship named the Concorde and renaming it the Queen Anne's Revenge, while converting this mercantile ship into a 40-cannon warship. Some labeled Blackbeard as a cursed human, others revered him for this move. The ship's findings by divers have kept the lore of Blackbeard alive in this modern day, as they have recovered priceless artifacts from the wrecked ship, once home to one of the most fearsome pirates who ever lived. But this is not Blackbeard's treasure or gold stash, and although some believe around the coast of North Carolina his gold stash remains, it is yet to pan out. There are 6 other possible locations where Blackbeard could have stashed his gold. Let's get back to the opening question I asked, shall we? Why would Blackbeard leave a gold stash somewhere, or leave anything somewhere not with himself? This is a common practice among pirates. There were many reasons why a captain of a pirate ship, or even members of pirate ships, would stash gold or valuables in a location other than their ship. One reason would be in case he was captured and executed, that money could be left for his family to recover, and he could be able to send that message and relay that message out to them where it was. Another more common practice would be if a pirate knew he would come back by that location, wanted to have some financial security in a place he may have to relocate to, would make practical to stash valuables there. Gold bars would be large, heavy. Around this time, the way they made them were to show off. Having them on a pirate ship would only put you in harm's way. You wanted to have what you needed and put what you needed later somewhere tactical. Ocracoke Island becomes another possible location for Blackbeard's long-lost treasure. This is due to a partnership with the governor of North Carolina at the time, Charles Eden. Also due to Blackbeard being laid to rest here, the speculations have continued to swirl. Lieutenant Robert Maynard's unit, consisting of 4 ships, took down Blackbeard around the coast of Ocracoke Island after a hellacious power struggle, where they decapitated Blackbeard's head and stuck it on the end of his bowsprit of his ship. The third possible location of Blackbeard's gold stash would be Plum Point. When he was trying to cut it as a private citizen after his pardon, he set up shop near Governor Eden's homestead in Bath, North Carolina. To this day, people still treasure hunt as the building foundation remains. A fourth possible location of Blackbeard's gold stash would be Teach Kettle. Not far from Plum Point is a farmer's field with a brick structure that Blackbeard was rumored to have used for different ship-making activities. This brick building may be destroyed, but this location attracts treasure seekers and relic hunters alike. The fifth location where Blackbeard's gold stash could be is Archbell Point, but this leads into a deeper speculation and a darker side of politics from back in the 18th century. Speculation has mounted for eons, and many believe, even some historians, that Governor Eden, who pardoned Blackbeard after sinking his ship, gave one of his ships back and helped him become established in Bath. This would have been based on a prize sharing agreement, of course, one that they had included Blackbeard making special trips to the governor using a sneaky rock path. Some say an underground passage, and historians are out to confirm or disprove every piece of this story. The sixth location of Blackbeard's gold stash is vague but accurate on the circumference. From 1717 to 1718, Blackbeard was on a tear, ransacking in the neighborhood of 30 ships. Blackbeard forcibly collected tolls from shipping in Pamlico Sound. If these stories are all true, if this is all accurate to the T, this would have taken place, and these ships would have gone down near Antigua, Martinique, the Granadas, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent, among other stops where Blackbeard would port. Anywhere along this string of islands could host Blackbeard's long-lost gold stash. And I'll even go a step deeper for you. The seventh location, the final location of where Blackbeard's treasure could be, is in hell. Down in Davy Jones' locker, there are recounts of a man being on the ship, but nobody could tell who he was. They couldn't tell where he came from, and he would vanish before they could figure it out. They believe this to be the devil himself. Could this man be the angel of death some call Damien? Could this have been Davy Jones himself, keeping track of Blackbeard's rampage, marking down the time and place, keeping track of a pact Blackbeard could have sealed with the other side? The Caribbean alone is home to over 7,000 islands. During this time, with water erosion as we know it today, there could have been more islands. Do you believe Blackbeard was a bit shallow? Has the story of Blackbeard's gold stash become richer than the gold itself? I'll let you decide for now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Smoke After Dark. Palms 37-4. So I wanted to put this on the podcast, but kind of at the end, just for everybody to hear and just hear a little bit of me talk about why I wanted to do this. So when I started Smoke After Dark, I had to think of a solid reason for doing a true crime / paranormal podcast / whatever the heck else I wanted to do, because I can't fit into a box, because I can't be cornered and just do things a certain way. So I really had to just get creative and figure out what I really wanted to do with it. So I've just kept evolving on Smoke After Dark and want to keep the horror stories and the scariness intact, of course, but it's also about talking about some things that are along those lines, but have undertones of some more variety, I would say, and that would be what I want to bring on this podcast. Now, when I do my other podcast, Press the Super Show, that podcast really is a lot of fun. I've hit 200 episodes on it, and I'm about to put up my 201st episode on Press the Super Show, and it's been a good journey. It's been a lot of fun, and I have no plans to stop the podcast. Just gonna keep going. I just don't even think about it. I just do it. I like to talk. So, and that was the True Variety Show. Sports. It is sports picks. When you do pop culture, it's reviews and things of that nature. And I hit on important topics when I need to, and I feel the need to say something, and I have something to add of value. Is what I aim for there. Stocks with Joe is always fun. And just things like that have kept the show going, like verses and matching two things up against each other, which I feel like I'm the originator of on podcasts. Like, I feel like I'm the originator of that going back to my YouTube channel. I think you'll see that. But other than that, I felt like the hidden gems I've thrown in over the years has been really cool. So it continues to go strong. And what I wanted to do with Smoke After Dark was put out a different show, you know what I mean? Because I'm not talking about paranormal. I'm not talking about the scaries over there. That's a totally different vibe. So to come over here and do this was a business move, but also because I wanted to do it in my way, on my terms. And I do like true crime, but I like the element of surprise. I like the stories of lore when it comes to pirates, mafia, stuff like that. And I'm not saying that's what this show is. I'm saying that there's certain things that I might take and put a twist on here, along with coming up with my own stories. Excuse me, because I have a lot of stories coming out, and I really, enjoy when people check those out. So with 3 Down, when I released that on here, the Smoke After Dark official podcast, that was really big because it was like I'm doing it my way, and it ultimately felt amazing. So when people ask, like, where do you find the time? Or there's always time. You make the time, because you could sit on Facebook. The average person sits on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, one of those for 3 hours a day. You could do that. Or you could take that time, plan accordingly, and then start laying down some heat. And then you'll have stuff to put out, and people will catch on. And you're doing it for your worth, you know what I mean? And then that's what it comes down to. You start to value yourself, and if you have things to say that can add value, then you should say those things. So with me, it's just been about being that silver surfer, and just showing up, striking at the right time, not overdoing it. And that's what the Super Show's been. That's why there's exactly 200 episodes. I could have 2,000 episodes, but I didn't want it to be that type of show. I wanted it to be a type of show that when I'm putting up episodes, I'm in the mood. I'm in the vibe. That's what Smoke After Dark is. I gave you 9 good episodes. The numbers are really good on those, by the way. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody who's listened to the past 9 episodes, which we'll call that the first season. Now moving into the second season, I have a great vision. There's going to be a lot of scary stuff coming, so I hope you're ready for that. And if you are, then you're in the right place. I have some true crime stories that I worked on. There's 2 for sure that are going to go in this season. But it's going to be a good mixture. And I've left the news for the Super Show. And even there, I'm not really picking up on the news too much. Just about things I can make creative and do fun for you. That I want to do, that I actually would listen to. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not going to listen to it, I'm not going to make it. But if I would listen to it, yes, I definitely will make that. And it's the same thing for my music. I hear beats all the time. If that beat is not a beat I want to play back, I'm not going to make a song on it. But if it is a beat I like, I will make a song on it. Yeah. Because there's something about it that catches my ear. So, just wanted to rap with you for a minute here. New book coming out. I've decided on a title for the new book, and we're going to go ahead and call it. And I'm going to tell you right now, my next book in line after Badge in the Shadows, you can check anywhere. Go ahead to Amazon or wherever you like to buy your books. Badge in the Shadows came out last summer. This summer, second in line of that saga is, you're going to like this. Oh, you're going to like this one. Smoke on the Cruise. And that was like not even a play on Smoke After Dark. It was just what's going to happen in the story, but what needs to capture the reader. And I thought that was a very compelling title. Like Badge in the Shadows, this is Smoke on the Cruise, dropping the shadows, but it's still in that same saga. So I thought that was really, unique the way I came up with that. I had about 3 names I was jostling with. Like, let me get one of these to work. I think, one of them I had was Capsized. I'll tell you, because you all are good people that hear this. Then the other one was it Ships and Shadows, or Shadows on the Ship. It was along those lines, and it was like something I was toying with, going back and forth with, and I was like, went through my notepad. Here I wrote down Smoke on the Cruise. I'm like, that's it. I wrote that down as the number 2 title. That was the number 1 title from the get. But sometimes you gotta wait, and you gotta think how you want it to go. But when I really got into writing this second book and I really started focusing on it, it really came together. And I also wanted to let you know I had started working on really 2 other projects. You're just going to be freaking out. But I started working on one project. It's going to be my Western. That's going to drop and be really hot. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm trying to get that as a script. I'm not trying to release that as a book. I'm trying to make that a script and get that into Hollywood as a movie. And that's going to be hot. And then there was some inspiration overcame me. Some nostalgia hit, mixed with some modern vibes, mixed with some just potent everything. And I was like overtaken by emotion. I felt the need to do something. So I started working on this new project where I'm taking everything that I've learned and everything that I am learning about history, and I'm applying it to an actual show where I'm going to create a TV show. And right now I'm looking at like 85 episodes is the run I would probably do on it. And if I could get all 85 the way I want them, and it sells and it does good, I would have another 10 to 20 backup for if something falls out with one of those, or if they want me to add more and they're like, hey, we need another season or we need another run, then I have those. That's probably how I would work that. So I started working on that not even too long ago. And when I wrote Badge in the Shadows, it kind of reads like a script in a way, but you could tell it's definitely a book. And you could also tell that I have the knack for screenwriting. It's in there. It's on the paper. So now it's just a matter of tightening it up and actually making it into what it should be. Because there is an opportunity for, once I'm done with the 4 books in the Badge in the Shadow series, and that's not the name of the series. And the actual name of the series is Shields and Shadows. But that's the name of the saga. But right now, it's just, you know Badge in the Shadows because that's the book. But the saga is called Shields and Shadows. So there's going to be an opportunity for all 4 of those to go be a movie or a mini-series, like the way they did Perry Mason, ran the 4 episodes, I think it was, of the new Perry Mason before they figured out what they did with it. But that's some type of opportunity for that out there. Like, how they love miniseries TV shows. There's going to be an opportunity like that when I finish the 4 books there. So one thing I can tell you is that I'm always working, and you're going to see a lot of content coming out. I got a song coming up in the morning, 10 a.m. This podcast is dropping at 2 a.m. I have a song coming out at 10 a.m. on today, June the 6th, 2023. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey, part of this ride. Thanks for sticking it out with me. It's been a lot of fun. This has been really good, and it's been a unique experience for me as well. And everything has really been falling into line because of people who come and support me, like you listening, and for everybody who's just touched anything that I've done. You know, if you've touched and gone over the website, if you went and you read one of my stories, if you just decided that, you know, this is a good person to follow and you did that, I appreciate it. I don't ask nothing of you. But if you hit play, that helps. That's it, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. I'm gone.